Peace, family. I am Chitiki, aka Chi Vital, and I am back with another tool for your toolkits. Tonight, I am going to be sharing some more of my 2023 Galactic downloads. And tonight, we're going to be discussing timing and taming of the beast. All right, so as you tune in, let me know that you are ready because you got your fire emojis. We're gonna go with fire tonight. All right. I want you to join in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Thumbs up this video. And please do share. Welcome other people onto this platform. Um, it's safe here. All right. This is the House of Chi. Building love in sacred spaces. Shouts out to the family over at Occult College. Y'all will have a special mention in this video for today. Um, as I had to reflect on information that came to me to share, because this is a real important year for a lot of y'all. So, let me start with, can everyone hear and see me clearly? Yes, one in the chat if you can hear and see me clearly. Peace, Mystic TV. Kendra Wagwan. What up, Jonah? Hi, Faith. Hey, Ayana. Peace, Aminta. All right, cool. Cool. So welcome back. It's Saturday. Shouts out to Saturn. Wagwan. Um, so cool. I'm gonna jump right in. Okay. So recently, I'm gonna get to that, Kendra. I'm gonna get to that. So definitely light up the chat with your questions. I don't mind if you put the questions in here. If you'll be patient enough, I always scroll through. By the time I finish my point, I may have already answered your questions. And if not, I scroll through to make sure that I can touch on everything. Okay, so bear with me. Hang around, get a notebook, get yourself your either your green drink or whatever you're drinking for today. And I'm gonna jump right in. All right. So recently, someone made a comment in the comment section, and I love that. When I say leave some comments under the videos, your takeaways, whether you're posting it in the HOC on Facebook or you're posting your comments, your takeaways, your feedback, your questions in the comments, I love it because one, that means you're engaged, and it gives me something to further think about, which is why I'm here. I love the dialogue with you all. If you notice, 98% of the videos here are live because I want to have that live interaction. Live. Turn off my ringer because I don't need no more interruptions. Right? And in the comment section, so one, I want to say thank you. I think I have a picture of who they are. All right, let me see. Because when I get more fancy, for all y'all who've been hanging around, y'all been loyal and true to this. Y'all gonna see when I get all fancy, I'm gonna take time to highlight some of the questions that you all leave for me, especially when they really speak to what is being channeled through me during my periods of silence. Okay, so this goes to Eli Shiva 5337. So first of all, thanks for the love in the comments. That goes to you and everybody else. Um, the question, the question that was asked, right? There was like, I really love your content. Um, I'm wondering if there's a reason for the irregularity of it. So for everybody who's here, most people who are already signed in, tuned in, you've been around from when I started this thing on YouTube. Okay. And it started in November 2018. Totally was like thrown into this by my ancestors, by terrain, um, a dope initiation into this other aspect of social media. Okay. I'm very grateful for it. So, because I wanted to answer the question thoroughly, and of course, it ties into what I feel moved to share, I decided to take notes. So, if you see me looking over to the side, I'm like, this is how I'm going to reply to this, right? So, the question is there a reason for the irregularity? So, first and foremost, if you've ever done any type of advisory, life strategy work with me, spiritual advisement, y'all know if you ask me a yes or no question, it's yes or no. Okay. If I ask you a yes or no question, I just want yes or no. If I need explanation, I'm going to ask for explanation. All right. So, first, the answer is absolutely yes. There's definitely a reason for irregularity. Okay. Um, so I went on to reflect on that piece because I already am in a space where I'm looking at certain things that are related to growth, that are related to revelation, that are related to awakenings, and to this platform where we are having this interaction through a screen, but there are so many different chords that get attached through our frequency of looking at one another. Although I may not be looking at your face like through this platform, you're looking at me, and absolutely there is this portal that's open for us to share, right? So I said, let me write down these notes here. I said, okay, it now has been just a little bit over 3 years. Okay. And over the 3 years, I have experienced three life changing spiritual initiations, two major deaths, three residential overhaul moves to totally different places, visited 6 different countries, and had 2 years of some official ass COVID lockdown. Um, and during that time, 305 videos, not counting this one today, have been recorded and not including the ones that have been shared on the paid source over at the Occult College. So shouts out to the gang, Occult College, right? And so I'm like, okay. So on average, every single week consecutively for 3 years, there's been 2 videos made with content that have not only touched the surface of people's lives, but have totally shifted the mindset and the paradigm in which people were kind of being stuck in, or wanting to, like, forget being stuck, just decided like, I just want to do something different. So I just want a different type of energy to work with. I don't want to say feed off of, because not everyone who shows up on this platform is vamping, but yes, absolutely, people do come onto these platforms and they vamp like crazy. Okay. um and so the reason why I had to go through that listing of what has been accomplished up until this point is that for a lot of you, things are going to shift and expand pretty damn phenomenally. When I use the word phenomenally, it's not a matter of just exaggerating the shift. It is more so where there's going to be this period in between for your growth that is unexplainable. And when that happens, it's not that you don't deserve that major quantum leap, is that when you get to that other side and you start to taste what it is to be that expanded so quickly, if you don't take the time to reflect on what you have built this quantum leap on, you can easily disintegrate. All right. Timing in the spiritual process of evolution is absolutely key. Any and everything that we do in this space has to find its rhythm where the give back for what you do makes sense, and not make sense from a very muggle minded, monkey brained, uh, animalistic survival mode type of brain mindset. It has to coincide with where your refinement from your soul level is taking you. And when you expand, and our expansion obviously is going to mean how many lives can we touch in a smaller framework of time, in a smaller framework of um, uses of energy. So it's like, rather than using all 10 gallons of your gas to get 10 miles away, now you're more efficient, so you can use 2 gallons and probably cover double that amount of space, so you are able to contact and make a difference in more people's lives in some form or fashion. All right. There's a lot of entrepreneurs here. There's a lot of people who are um, in some form or fashion. I always say this because I know it. I feel it by the way that you all ask questions and the way that you show up. There's some level of leadership. Okay. And most of y'all, the leadership is at a spiritual level, a leadership to whatever healing that needs to be done for your legacy. So the family that you come from and the family that you are birthing moving forward. All right, so press one in the chat if that so far resonates with you in your understanding of what's actually happening here between us in your own space and just like around you. Dope, dope. So like, this is what I'm saying why I love lives, because I mean, if I'm going to do the live and it's not already immediately resonating, then I don't, not just I, because I work in tune with my spirits, right? And if my spirits are telling me to share something with the people that are connecting, then I'm going to do that. But if they tell me I need to be quiet for a little bit, because one of the pitfalls to having so much energy packed into such a small space, okay, um, is that you either can burn out, right, rather quickly, and the expansion doesn't get the opportunity to also experience longevity, or in a healthier sense, because I can totally get into the toxic sense, the reviews of the external realm are more so stale in time. They kind of reflect yesterday. But if you base it all on yesterday, you may get complacent with yesterday and not have the motivation necessary for years down the line. And so when you or I decided to get in such a space where I am going to be in front of others doing this work, there has to be an honest conversation of when the healer or when the teacher or when the realtor or when the mom or when the dad or when the whatever the title is, when that individual is working to reach another level of mastery and continues to want to evolve while giving and being of service is the kind of pump that you want to prime so that you create that like suction of where energy will be coming back around. So you create like this pool here where like you go out, you ever be in the pool and like you do this with your hands in the water and kind of like the water already feeds into the swirling, right? It feeds into the swirling because you've already created the movement of going out. And so it pulls back in with less effort. You put the effort to put it out, and it pulls back in with less effort. At some point, it's okay and it's necessary to make sure that that coming back in within is there. Because if you do this too hard, what happens to the water? The water actually doesn't come back to you. It starts just splashing everywhere and like making ripples out into the rest of the pool. You see what I'm saying? If you get too wild with the giving, right, it loses this circular motion of feeding back into you, and then it just goes out, 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 out. A mess, a mess, a mess, a mess. So imagine if you're not aware of timing and taming that beast of nature that you want to keep the beast, but you want to have a level of mastery over the beast so that when it moves through, that energy comes back. It's felt with potency, but it comes back. So the way in which you get to that level of clarity is reflection. We sit in a mirror to receive the deepest, most hidden levels of reflection, not so that we can beat ourselves up, but so that we can refine our awareness of what is it that we truly need. What level of gasoline do we need to get this locomotive moving in a way of perfection? Not perfection next to what another person is doing, but perfection in a way that is suited and booted and customized to your swag. All right? Your essence. What is your essence? Press 1 in the chat if you get what I'm talking about. Wonderful. So here was 3 questions that this beast of YouTube. I love YouTube. It is such a phenomenal piece of technology, and it's also a beast. Okay, it's a beast where it's a mirror. Looking at a camera, I'm looking at my reflection, and what I see is definitely different from what you see because like my screen on the back end is different from what you get out there. Okay, which is totally mirroring life, right? But as I do that, when this shuts off, right, there's this piece called analytics. And so you got the analytics that speak to you in really clear terms of what works for the giving and what works for yourself. Then you can compare the two. For anyone who is a creator in any form or fashion, there are going to be times where you create things that feel absolutely amazing and you're totally happy about it for yourself. And one of the downfalls is that you present it to someone or to your audience and you think like this is creme de la creme, the best thing I've created. And their response is like, meh, eh. And so When I say this YouTube joint is like the beast, is that as a creator, you will have to understand that even in those spaces, you got to be pleased with yourself. So it doesn't matter about whether it's on YouTube or it's in a book you've written, if it's in a piece of art you put together, if it's in your presentation and how you're going to be selling properties, um, whatever it is, right? But then you look at where what you've shared also really, really resonates with the people that you are focused on serving. Because you can ask yourself real questions and go, okay, where the people really loved it, was I still myself and did I love it? And if you're in any type of industry where there's going to be um, some things that you share or you have to do a certain kind of way that may not necessarily speak to your most creative side, but it does get across and people they want it. You have to be careful if you want longevity in that career space where you get too comfortable with pleasing the people that you lose sight of why you got there, who you are, and what it is that you're selling. Because if you're here on this channel, then you want to stay in a space where you have found that sweet spot between what you're putting out and how you feel you're showing up putting it out. All right, because we're moving into a space where if you can just relax into being who you are, it's going to give you a sense of um, energy that pushes you to those places and through those places to master how to wield it. It's like your sword. All right, like a real good sword is not going to be light. But the more you work with it, the more you take your time figuring out how your body responds to the thing, right? How loose, how much fluidity do you have in your joints? And I call the joints, right? I'm going to slow this down for you. I call the joints of the body, they represent those spaces in between time that you take to figure out how to really move. You see what I'm saying? So you ask yourself while you're going through your process, because we're still in the winter, okay? We're still in the winter. It's still like reserve your energy. It's still make time to meditate. It's still connect with those who you really love and you can be at that warm, simmery fire type of connection with. It's still that. It ain't really that pop out season yet. It just ain't yet. All right. So you want to ask, who am I in that space? Who am I right now when nobody's watching? Right? Why? Why am I in this space as I am? Okay. Some of the answers of who am I, if you just let the information come forward, okay, and you ask yourself, why am I those things? You get to see if you're choosing who am I, and then you get to see where there's space for you to say, okay, I like it, I'm good with that. All right, or where does it come from? Okay, and then you ask yourself, well, do I have room to grow in this space that I've created? I'm gonna use one of your names, like, okay, so Della Chatham, she put some fire in the chat, right? So I'm gonna pretend I'm Della Chatham. This is what I look like. This is how I usually wear my hair. This is my store. This is how I run my business. And this is how I show up. to my shop, to my children, my husband, my family, whatever, right? Okay. And I'm going to do this spiritual work. Is Della stuck in being Della when Della feels like being different from the Della that everybody else knows? Yes or no? Does Della have space in her environment to be something different without causing a fight with her environment? Yes or no? Right? Um if you realize, oh wow, like if I decided like tomorrow I'm gonna wear a mini skirt and I'm going to show some cleavage and I'm gonna leave my glasses on the table because that's really what I feel like in that moment. Do I have space for that in my life? Or am I like, mm, I'm uncomfortable with that, and not just because, someone's gonna holler, but more so because I feel like that, but I can't really express that because now I want to know the answer for because. Because why? Because why? And if you don't learn to use those spaces in between your rituals, in between your giving to everyone, you may not ever come back with the answer of why that is true and authentic to you. Okay? So, what I love about the beast is that the beast is going to reveal some truth of what cannot be argued, right? It doesn't matter. All the eyes are looking at it. Sure, we can see it from different angles, but the truth is the truth, right? But we're fueled by getting into a flow of our natural energy. So whenever we can find and tap into what is really true to me, we find flow. We find a lot of flow. And the things that are going to be true to you are going to be the things that you have practiced, that you have memorized in some form of fashion, because they become a part of yourself. And that includes not just the way your parents reared you, not just the way you decided to be as an adult, but also the energies that you spend the most time with. And you're speaking their light codes through the frequency of the words, they become a part of you, right? Just like when we say we memorize something, we know it by heart. It becomes a part of your heartbeat. In your sleep, you hear it. Open your eyes, you hear it. When you're looking at things, you're looking through the lens of these lessons that have been taught to you through these different energies, these goddesses, these deities, these gods, right? The ancestors who you didn't have a real strong connection with before, and now you do have that connection. And so you're able to see differently. So the timing and the taming and the beast. I said that this YouTube piece for me is like a beast, but at the end of it, I'm the beast. I'm the beauty and the beast, and I have to find the timing to figure out how to tame it so that it does me. I do what it is that I want it to do. Because once I know how to get me to do what I want it to do, then everything else around me will catch my flow and we can move with ease. Is there a reason for irregularity? Hell yeah. Because I'm fluid, I'm intuitive. So, sure, I teach stuff, I could break it down in a succinct manner. However, I like to be in that space where I feel inspired to share with you all, not just because I want to just be on here being cute, because I look cute plenty of days and I don't get to see y'all and show it off. But also, I have such a beautiful, flavorful, full life with a physical practice where I put my hands on people to bring about healing changes for them in their lives and their bodies. I have beautiful children. I have a love life. I love to travel, but I'm not willing to sell everything that is personal to me in order to be like a robot in sharing, because my content is a matter of reflecting me and what it is that I want to share to help bring about that same fluidity that I have in my life that you can have in your life. So when you need to shift, you need to transform, you need to just go through the shits, you can, because you've given yourself room to do that. So I hope that this message for you tonight, has helped you to pull apart some of the downloads that you've received through whatever rituals you've been doing, through whatever meditations you've been doing, even just through the winter, and give you some things to think about to bring you even more clarity and tools in where you can respect timing. You can see the ways in which you want to tame your beast. And then you cool with it. You smooth, you cool with it. All right? So press 1 in the chat if you got something from this tonight. Amen. And can I get an amen from the church? Kendra, she said that last video was everything for me. The mental health piece. The beauty and the beast. The beauty and the beast. Be both of them. Be both of them. The beauty and the beast. All right, so don't forget to thumbs up this video. I really would love for y'all to share this video with as many people as possible on your regular platforms, wherever else you're sharing them. Okay, and I'll be with y'all soon. Peace, love, and bliss. It's been a pleasure. Always. I'm out.